Okay, so this is my third attempt at talking about this, because so far the camera has turned off and I've run out of memory. And that keeps happening. So, I have Facebook, of course, but a lot of people do. And I saw on there a post by an organization called Palomacy Pigeon and Adoption, I think is what it's called. And they were sharing a petition on another website called animalpetitions.org, and the petition was to ban white dove release, and it was related to a white dove release at a memorial ceremony for the victims of the Orlando shooting. And the petition, it talked a little bit about it on the website, and then it actually had the newsletter. Not newsletter. Petition letter, which is what the petition is, and it had lies on it. It said that the pigeons, it called them doves, but of course white dove release is white racing homers being let go. And it said that they flew around looking for something familiar without any food until they died, which is of course not true. Some pigeons may have died. All pigeons die eventually, but they didn't wander around with no idea where they were going. I assume that this white dove release was by a professional, being as it was such a big event relating to such a big tragedy. But regardless of whether that was or not, a lot of white dove releases are, so I'm going to go on assuming that it has been done professionally. The pigeons are trained to fly home, and the homing instinct, it's an instinct, so you don't train them to know how to come home. They already know how, you just train them to do it. It's more like you make them practice it. And I'll touch on that in a moment, but that's what they said, and that was a lie, and they were saying that white dove release was animal cruelty. And the website that shared it, Palomacy Pigeon and Dove Adoption, which is a rescue and adoption agency for pigeons and doves, mostly white king pigeons. And I actually was messaging them about it a little bit, and they sent me a link to one of their pages on their website, and I looked at it, and it was titled, "What is Pigeon Racing?" And the column started out, "Pigeon racing is a sport that kills pigeons." I will go ahead and say that every racing pigeon dies. And there's a very simple explanation for that, in that all pigeons die, obviously. But racing the pigeons does not kill them. Actually, they were saying that they actually went as far as to say that most pigeons released die. And I will say they all die eventually, of course, but they don't die as a result of being released. The military, of course, everyone knows the military, they used pigeons to send messages in World War I and World War II. And they don't do that anymore that I know of, but they did. And they used racing homers, people in racing clubs that actively raced pigeons as a sport, sent their best pigeons over there to fly in the war. So these were not some special military pigeons, they were racing homers, just like I have. And the military found them to have a 98% success rate. And that's pretty much it. I would agree with that success rate. Success being they came home. They, of course, wanted them to come home as fast as possible because they might be carrying a life-saving message. So they found a 98% success rate. And that 2% is mostly killed by natural predators like hawks, mostly hawks and falcons. And you cannot tell me that they're killing them is animal cruelty, because that's nature. And many wild pigeons are killed by predators. Many more wild pigeons are killed by predators than domestic pigeons. I'm going to check the camera because it cuts off after 10 minutes, so I have to check and see how long it's been. That's a feature to save battery if I leave the camera on. But let's see, where was I? So that's not animal cruelty now I don't like it when hawks kill pigeons, and I've had a hawk kill one of my pigeons, but that's not animal cruelty, and it's no reason to ban white dove release. Also, you might say white pigeons attract hawks. Yes, a white pigeon in a flock of normal dark-colored pigeons is pretty easy for a hawk to pick out. But these were 98 pigeons that were all white. In a big flock of white pigeons, a white pigeon is hard to pick out. So it's really no different than a darker pigeon. We might say they'd attract more attention because they're white. 98 pigeons being released at one place attracts a lot of attention regardless of their color. So the whiteness, their being white, doesn't matter in this instance. Now, they said that most of them die. I just explained to you that that's not true. Most come home just fine. And most of the ones that don't are killed by natural predators, not cruelty. They also said that we cull pigeons, which is, if you don't know what cull is, it's cull, C-U-L-L. It usually means to kill or destroy. I think it can mean, to some people it might mean to give away, but usually it means to kill them. And they specified that by cull they meant kill. But the funny thing is, this pigeon adoption / rescue website, they cull. So whether we do or not, they have no room to talk, because they allow their pigeons, they pair them up, they intentionally put pigeons together, and you can see on Facebook they post where they put them together and the pigeons lay eggs, and then they throw away the eggs. That egg is a baby pigeon. Some of those eggs are probably not fertile, some of them, so that would not be considered a baby pigeon, but I would imagine the large percentage of them are, and even if it's only a small percentage, they're still throwing away baby pigeons. And I messaged them about this, and they flat out told me, yes, we destroyed pigeon eggs. And they said that they were doing that because they didn't want to be part of the problem, which was me and my friends breeding pigeons. Breeding them is not necessarily a problem, but we're going to go ahead and assume it is a problem because that's what they called it. Let me check the camera one more time, and let me show you something. Let's see. I'm sorry. Here's how eggs are made. In case you don't know, though I'm sure you do. You take a male pigeon, you put it with a female pigeon. They mate. They lay eggs. They have babies. That's how. They say that's the problem. So their solution to the problem is to throw away. They use the word destroy those baby pigeons, the eggs. Here's my solution to the problem, and it's very easy and it's very cheap. Here's what it is. You take the male pigeon and you put it over here in one pen, and you put the female pigeon over here in another pen. And that's what most, if not all, racing pigeon fanciers do in the winter. We separate the sexes. We keep them apart so they don't breed and lay eggs. It's that easy. That's all you have to do. So there's no reason at all for them to be killing baby pigeons, killing pigeons by throwing away the eggs. There is zero reason for it. All they have to do is keep the males and females apart. Nothing to it. So they can't say anything about culling. But let me tell you, I don't cull, and I don't throw away eggs either. My friends that I know, they don't cull either. The only reason any of us would ever kill one of our pigeons is if it was severely deformed or had an injury that it just could not come back from. And not even so much an injury. If I had a pigeon that had lost a wing, I would still keep it. They can still be healthy and live a happy life, they just can't fly. So really, it would only be a severe deformity that causes them a very low standard of life. That's the only reason I or any of my friends will cull a pigeon. Not because we simply don't want it, because it was too slow. And some people do kill their pigeons because they're too slow. I will say that happens. Yes, I won't deny that. But that is by some people, not me or any of the people I know that raise pigeons. Now, if you'll hold on, I'm going to start a new video, otherwise my camera will turn off. So, sorry, I have to do that, otherwise my camera will turn off. But, so some people do kill their pigeons. Yes, that happens. But that doesn't mean I do. That doesn't mean my friends do. So what their article should say is, some pigeon fanciers, unfortunately, some pigeon racers, unfortunately, kill their pigeons. But to say that all the pigeon fanciers do, that's just not true. And I frown upon that. I strongly disagree with culling pigeons. When you breed them or buy them or get them for free, whatever it is, you're accepting responsibility for that animal. Accepting responsibility does not mean killing it because you no longer want it. So some people do, yes, but as a whole, no. Pigeon fanciers do not kill their pigeons because they don't want them anymore. Those were two of the biggest issues that I wanted to make sure I touched upon. And to explain what pigeon racing is, what we do is we raise the babies, of course, and after they're fully feathered, we trap train them. You know, oh no, the word trap, that might sound bad. Trap train just means, what a trap is like a little pigeon door that's only one way. They can come into the loft through it, but they can't go out. That's all it is. It's called a trap because it traps them in here. But that's a good thing. They're trapped in here with water, food. It's clean. I keep it clean. And so that's not bad. After they're trap trained, they fly around the loft. Now, I use a flag and I chase them off the loft so that they fly. Oh no, I'm forcing them to fly. That is not cruelty. In the wild, they have to fly because Mother Nature forces them to, because they have to do it to go find food and water. So for me to make them fly around, that's not cruelty. You might not want to do it, you might not like it, but it's not cruelty. That's the way it works in nature too. So if we're comparing this to the way they live in nature, it's not cruel. And after a few months, it kind of depends a little bit upon the pigeon, a little bit about the fancier. What we do is we'll take them a mile or two away and let them go. And they circle around while they get their bearings, and then they fly home. And at first, they don't fly straight home, they fly like this. That's how it works. They're inexperienced. But as they gain experience, they fly a straighter path, they fly faster, and they leave the release site sooner. And then we gradually increase the distance. If I start them out at a mile, next I do 2, then I do 4, then 8, then 16, and you get the idea. You double it until they're flying home from hundreds of miles. And by hundreds I mean 200 or something. So they have a lot of experience being outdoors with predators, with threats. I've already made this video 3 times incompletely, so I'm trying to remember if I told you this or not, but those 2% that don't make it home, they're killed by natural predators, so that's not cruelty. I don't like it, and if I could change it to where predators didn't kill them, I would, but that's just not how the earth works. Kill or be killed, that is what it is, and pigeons don't kill, so they get killed. But that's not cruelty. Pigeons, they were made to fly. So to ban them from flying is kind of silly. And I realize that's not exactly what this ban was. But when you think down to it, when you think about it, it really comes down to a petition to ban white pigeons from flying. Why would you ban a bird from flying? I don't know. So they were saying it was cruel, and it's not. They're just flying. They're birds. They fly. Palomacy said that that they fly until they burn up their muscles. That literally means it's like your fat would, like you burn fat for nutrition and energy. They're saying they burn up all the fat, and then they continue burn their muscles until they waste away and die. I'm going to be flying like 200-mile races. That only takes, a good pigeon, it might take him, I don't know, 7 hours, somewhere roughly like that. And that might sound a lot, but these pigeons are bred to be able to fly for really long distances. And in fact, there are other breeds of pigeons, like tipplers, that have been bred to fly literally all day. And you know what? They're healthy anyway, and they don't burn up their muscles. So that's just simply not true. So it's just not true. So they don't burn up their muscles, they're just flying. Birds were made to fly, and that's what they're doing, flying. It's not cruel. You might disagree with taking them somewhere else and letting them go to fly home. You might say they don't like being taken out there and let go. But whether they like it or not, that doesn't make it cruel. It's not causing them pain. It's not, it's not like they don't, it's not like, you know, they're fearful for their lives, they're in horrible agony. It's not like that. It's just kind of like, see this pigeon here? He's moving away from my hand. Doesn't want to be picked up. Now look at that. I picked it up. Now, it tried to get away from me, so therefore, it didn't want to be picked up, but I did it anyways. Is that cruel for me to pick up this pigeon? No, of course not. That's not cruel. In fact, it's very important for me to pick up my pigeons and look them over, make sure they didn't somehow get a small injury or something that might be under their wing, make sure they're healthy, feel their breasts to make sure they are at a good weight, open their mouths and look inside to make sure there's not any kind of blockage, which could be from some kind of illness. It's very important for me to pick it up. That's not cruelty. Now, it's not very important for me to let them go somewhere, but it's still not cruelty. Just because they wouldn't prefer it doesn't make it cruel. So, those are some of the common misconceptions about pigeon fanciers that are spread by those that disagree with racing pigeons. So that's basic. So I kind of explained those were wrong. And I kind of told you about how we train them. There's not a lot more to racing than that. You might say that I'm doing it for my own personal gain. You have to pay to enter your pigeon in a race, and there is a prize, there's an amount of money. Now, I'm going to be doing this next year, and you want to know how much money I'm going to get if I win? I really don't know. I haven't even asked. Haven't asked. It's not a big deal to me. I want to do it because it's fun. I'm obviously going to get enough money back if I win that it replaces the money I paid for them to go. But as for how much extra I get, I really don't even know how much it is. I don't know. I don't care. I don't. I really don't. I don't care. So if I cared, I would have asked. It's as easy as asking the president, whom I can text. I texted him a little while ago. So I'm not doing it for my own personal gain. And in fact, you lose a lot more money than you'll ever win racing pigeons. You win some, you lose some, and you might make money when you win, but you spend money whether you win or lose. So you don't really gain much from it. Two of my pigeons are over there mating. So, but also, saying that I'm cruel and I don't care about my pigeons, let me show you something. This is a white king. I didn't buy it. I didn't ask for it. It fell through someone. It escaped or was set free or something, and it fell through someone's chimney. And they put it outside, and it just hung around their front porch until the president of my club came and got it because he was asked to come and get it, take care of it, because the president of my club takes in rescued birds. Now, he didn't give this to me because he did not want it. He gave it to me because he knew I would, because I do really enjoy taking in rescues. This is a rescue. So the president of my pigeon club takes in rescues. He gave this one to me because I take in rescues. As far as and that's not even my own bird. As far as not caring for my own birds, this pigeon, a breed of pigeon called a Birmingham roller, they do backflips, and that's a whole other subject entirely, so don't get me started about thinking that having pigeons that do backflips is cruel. That's a whole other subject. But the point is, she rolled and hit the roof of our house, and it messed up her nerves to where she could not move her legs. According to Palomacy and many other websites, I should have killed her for that. I should have just snapped her neck. She's still alive. And if you look, she can use her legs. That's because I took her to the vet, which is expensive, by the way. I took her to the vet, and I paid to have her looked at, and then I paid for her medicine, and I took care of her, and now she's back to normal. My battery's dying, so I'm going to try and hurry this up. Long story short, I have multiple pigeons that, according to them, I should have culled because they're inferior. Some injured, some genetic something, some of them aren't even mine. But I'm going to put some screenshots from Palomacy and from the... Alright, sorry, just making sure it's recording this time. Having a little bit of trouble with my camera, mostly because it's cold out here, so it's affecting the camera. But I hope y'all got to see everything I wanted to say. I'm not really sure where it cut off. This is my 4th attempt at this, so I'm not really going to try it again. I just want to make sure y'all know that there are cruel pigeon racers, but pigeon racing is not a cruel sport. I don't kill my pigeons. No one I know kills my pigeon, kills their pigeons. They certainly don't kill my pigeon. They don't kill their pigeons either. You know, they have a 90, like it's something like around a 98% success rate. Most pigeons survive a race and come home just fine. Those that don't are mostly killed by natural predators, which happens in the wild, so you can't really call that cruel either. Because, I mean, if that's what happens in the wild, so if we're comparing it to that, it can't be cruel. Though I certainly hate it and wish I could change that. That's basically all I wanted to say, and I want to encourage you all to do your own research on keeping and raising pigeons. Check multiple sources. I mean, just Google pigeon racing and check multiple sources. Most of the things you find are going to be true, but just make sure you check for contradicting. I mean, what am I doing? Y'all know how to do research. I'm not going to tell you that, but please do research it. And if you want to see for yourself what pigeon racing is, I'm going to be keeping a detailed YouTube series this year on how I breed, raise babies, and race my pigeon, train my pigeons and race them. So if you subscribe and keep up with my videos, I'll show you everything that's involved. Well, maybe not everything, but you know, most of it. But thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and please don't sign that petition. Bye, guys.